Are you using LinkedIn and have this problem too? Whenever I want to connect with someone, I want to do research on them and know who they are. But it's very time consuming and researching every person takes a lot of time. So, what if there's another better way? What if we built our own personal tool for researching people and profiles on LinkedIn? Let's build a great tool for free for ourselves. Hello, my name is Hatif and this is Wadi AI Agency. In this video, which is our first video, we're going to build a tool to discover and research people on LinkedIn. It will help us to connect to people that are deeply researched and the right choice for us. So as I wanted to build my LinkedIn profile as we move to Oman, Muscat, so we're going to use this tool to research on people. For example, let's look at Mr. Ahmed Al-Hassani's profile. He's a director of technology and development in the Rihal company. But I want to know more of him. I want to know who is he, what has he done. I can look at his profile and read the job experiences or the posts that he's shared. But also we can build our own tool that will research on internet and get a more detailed info. So this is the tool that we're going to build today. Let's get back to VS Code and start the coding tool that we're going to use. Make sure that you have watched the first video, which is prerequisite to all the videos. It's for installing VS Code, Node.js, Git, and also Gemini CLI tool. Also, there's another coding tool that isn't free and it needs subscription from Cloud, which is Cloud Code tool that will help you code. I like Cloud Code more than Gemini CLI tool. So I'm going to use Cloud as we have our subscription, but if you don't have Cloud subscription, no worry. You can watch the first video and install Gemini CLI tool, which offers some free usage for you. So I'm going to run Cloud and start brainstorming and building the tool. Okay, Cloud Code opened. Now I'm going to say to it what is the idea, what I want to do, and how we can build the tool. Also, the tool must be a Chrome extension because if we build a tool like a web app that doesn't have login credentials like the logged in user I have in LinkedIn, the tool can't access the profile's data. So I'm going to build a Chrome extension. Therefore, when I'm logged in my profile, I can browse and see profiles and do the research that we need. So the tool we need is a Chrome extension. And any other tool will bear extra steps and make it more cumbersome to do and build. So let's get back to Cloud Code and tell him that I'm going to build a Chrome extension for LinkedIn for my personal use. It's for researching people. As we've covered before, Gemini offers some free API usage. So we're going to use that to bear no extra cost. I'm telling the Cloud Code the idea and also the structure of the links in LinkedIn. So I'm going to provide a sample link for it to understand the structure. The next thing I'm going to tell Cloud Code is that the extension should take a screenshot of the profile, extract the name, the job title, the headline, about section, job experiences, and other sections in a LinkedIn profile. Therefore, it can run the next step, which is research. As we're dealing with international profiles, it's important to me that the research will be done both in English and also Arabic. Okay, I've written the prompt, but it's an important detail to tell Cloud that now I'm just ideating and brainstorming. I'm not going to start coding just yet. The most important step for building tools with AI is that they have a great context and they know what we're doing. So they don't assume some presumptions instead of asking us. Then I'm going to tell him that don't code until we've verified the plan and also talk about the missing pieces, what I haven't covered, what I haven't thought about. Therefore, when it starts doing coding, you have a great plan that will be suitable to our goals and our needs. I remembered something. We're going to tell also that we need the extension to add buttons only in the profile pages. So when we're browsing LinkedIn and we came across a profile that we want to run the research, we don't bother with opening the pop-up or any other complex UI. It's just simple, a button over LinkedIn profile pages that will run a great research for us. And now it's time to send it and get a response. You can do all these steps in Gemini CLI too. Almost no difference. Just the AI model underneath them is different, but the tools do almost exactly the same things. It provided an answer to us. It's explaining the technical and implementation that we need to care about the permissions of the Chrome extension, the screenshot method that we have, and we should consider the API rate limits that Gemini free codes have for us. We're going to be the data storage, authentication, also about user experience and interface, privacy and legal, research methodology, and edge cases. So I'm going to answer these questions so we have a great project brief. Let's start with permissions and manifest. It's okay. A screenshot method is okay. For data storage, as we're going to keep it simple, local storage is enough. Okay, I've written the answers for cloud and I'm going to send it so it will revise and complete the plan. But not forget something. AI will hallucinate a lot and will write code sometimes wrong because it doesn't know exactly what we're going to do. So instead of repeated cycles of failure, I'm going to provide a detailed documentation on how to use the Gemini API so it can write the correct code in the first try. So I'm going to go to AI Studio. It's free and we can use it here. Select Gemini 2.5 Pro, turn the grounding with search option on, and then write, I want to get a technical guide on how to code with Gemini API, and since we're using JavaScript, I'm going to tell that. Okay, prompt is ready. I'm going to send it and get a great technical guide on Gemini API. Therefore, when Cloud Code starts coding, as their knowledge cutoff obviously is not today, they will get all the latest correct and up-to-date information on how to code correctly for Gemini API. After 49 seconds of thinking, now it's going to write the guide for us. I noticed something that I'm going to ask to revise and get me an updated guide. It's using the old Gemini library, but it should use the new one. You don't need to do this step for yourself. You can use the guide that we're going to add to the GitHub, and when you pull the codes, it will be ready for you and you can use it. We're just showing you how we think and how we do coding with AI, even if we're not developers, but we need just up-to-date and correct information. As you can see, it understood that it made a mistake, and now it's writing the correct documentation for the new Google library for API. I'm going to copy Markdown, move back to VS Code, create a folder for docs, add the file Gemini API doc.md, copy paste the guide, remove the extra description in the beginning, and now we have a correct and up-to-date guide. I'm just going to check it if there's no old models. 2.5 Flash is a good model, fast and good performance. Okay, the guide is good enough for starting the task we have at hand. I'm reading the previous answer for the revisement and the missing pieces of the tool we're going to build? Okay, I'm going to answer the questions and ask it to write a new plan. For the first tool, I'm going to create the tools folder. Then here I'm going to add a todo.md file. So it will write the plan in that file and we can start coding the extension in the next step. Okay, I've answered its questions, what AI model is going to use and other info, and I'm going to tell it that use the Gemini API documentation that we've created to code correctly. Send it the command and it's starting to create a to-do list, which is updating the plan we're going to have for the tool. First time, it's going to ask us if we're going to accept every change every time it has made the change, or we can switch and turn auto accepting. As we're going to build a lot of tools, I'm going with the second option, which is letting AI do its work automated. Now the plan is ready. I'm going to review it and see if it has all the information that is needed. Then we can start the coding. This is the file structure, which is very important because it's the design of the tool. As you can see, all the Chrome extensions are going to have a manifest.json file. The content script, which is very important, that's doing the job. The components will bring the functionality to the buttons and other elements. I think the plan is a little bit too much complex. I'm going to ask it to make it a little simpler. Okay, I'm going to send my revisements of the plan. The interesting thing is that when it does something wrong and gets an error, it can change its behavior and get a correct result. Now 2 times getting error. Maybe it's because of some of the text changes we made. As you can see, the error is related. Finally, after getting lots of errors, it did it correctly, but changed the changes I've made previously. It's okay. And now we have a updated, simplified plan. The next step is going to be run a compact command, so later it won't fill up the context and we can resume the coding. Okay, previous conversation is compacted. Now we can start the coding and see what happens. The exciting part after brainstorming is of course the building. So I'm going to ask it to follow the Gemini API doc for making sure that it won't code for the knowledge that is outdated and will follow the correct documentation. By writing @ you can mention files, so it will of course read them before answering. To read the Gemini API doc, the plan we have, and started doing task. It's going to start with phase 1, which is building the Chrome extension setup, the manifest.json file and other files. If you don't know what these are, doesn't matter. You're not going to write the code for it. You have to just know what you want and you learn how to interact with AI, which is the whole goal of this series. AI is going to become every day better at every job. So we can leverage this great leverage equalizer, which means any of us can do simple things now, and as they become more advanced, more complex things. And as you learn to install VS Code and run some development tools and learn to install Node.js for running JavaScript codes, you can of course build more complex tools, because one-shot builders like Replit or Lovable or other tools won't give you the whole access like this to do everything. This is the command that is going to write, and every time the coding tool is going to run a command, it's going to ask you. But I'm going to give it permission to run this command always. The only command that I'm not going to give AI to run for themselves is deleting files, because AI can make mistakes and I don't want the AI to be able to delete whole files. But every other command is almost safe. Now it's started to, you can see it has created the folders, the first files are ready, and you can see the manifest.json file, the tool LinkedIn profile researcher is ready. It's going to show only on linkedin.com/in URLs, which are the profile URLs. Are asked it when it does indeed do a task, mark it completed so we can keep track of the progress. Now phase 1 complete and it's doing the phase 2 tasks. As you can see, it will do them very fast and we're going to have a real working Chrome extension soon. Now it's writing the main file, which is going to do all the AI work of research, which is Gemini-research file. It has written it. As you can see, it's using Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash models. The Pro as the first option and the second one as the fallback and backup option. Here is the system prompt for the tool. It says the goal of the tool and how to structure the content that AI is going to extract and get from every profile. Then based on these extracted content, which are the name, headline, location, about, experiences, educations and skills of a profile, then it will run the research, which is this prompt. As you can see, it's asking to do a detailed research report on the professional background, company research, industry context, public presence, and also do a verification and credibility of the data. Also, because I'm in Oman and I'm working with this culture and this country, so I'm going to ask AI to do both English and Arabic research. And as you can see, this is the English prompt and this is the second one, which is the Arabic prompt. The AI is doing tasks very fast. As you can see, another 2 tasks are done and it's going to complete the design of the results window, then move to API management system for rate limiting and those settings. Almost it doesn't matter that you don't know any of this. The only thing that matters is that you are a creative person with a problem. And if you define your problem, as you saw when we first began this chat, we asked AI to ideate, talk about the missing pieces that we didn't think about, and after answering those and simplifying a plan a little bit, because AI really likes to do complex projects because it doesn't have the context of the things we want to do. And AI doesn't see constraints as humans, and this is very important tip that you must control the AI to not go overdrive. It can and it will go overdrive because lots of codes doesn't matter to AI. It's going to just generate results and answers. So it matters to us that the answer is correct and is going to solve our problem. So we're going to keep it constrained. As you saw, I told the Cloud Code 2 times that keep the plan simple, and still the plan it wrote was a little too much complex. So another time I asked to simplify the plan, and we have this new file structure. As you can see, the manifest.json is ready, content script is ready, styles is ready. Now it's creating the components. The API code is also ready and one of the utils are ready. Second util is done. As you can see, we're going very fast and it's going to do all these phases almost in one run. As you can see, this is the great way that we're going to work with AI. We ideated, brainstormed, thought about the missing pieces, the things that we haven't thought about. Then we wrote a plan. After writing the plan, we just asked the AI to build it. And as you can see, it has now created almost all of the files except 2 of them. And it's continuing to do. Here you can see it's been working for almost 6 minutes now, generated 19,000 tokens, and still continues. Now it's going to update this plan and we can see what progress has been done. As you can see, phase 1 is complete except the test. Only 2 tasks in phase 2 remaining. Phase 3 done except the test. Also phase 4 and also phase 5. Now it's creating a README file for the LinkedIn Profile Researcher tool that will guide us how to use it. Here's the README file. Now it's writing the test file code that will help us to verify how the extension is going to work and indeed verify it. In Gemini CLI tool, it writes the context limit here under the prompt bar, but Cloud Code only shows context limit when it reaches 20% remaining. So we still have left some context and I'm going to ask a follow-up. It now thinks it has done all the tasks in the to-do list. I'm going to ask it to review all the files, look for bugs, look for how the files are integrated together, and if indeed it has done all the tasks successfully. I ask it to review the codes and see if there are problems, and you're going to see that of course there's a problem, because almost never AI can do all the tasks in one run with no errors or with no wrongdoings. And I asked the AI to review the plan, the tasks, and see if there are bugs or missing tasks or any issues. As you can see, it has started reading all the files, and after this review it will determine what are the remaining tasks to be done. Again, it has requested to run a command, and as it's a safe command to run, which is a find command, I'm going to allow it to run it always. This way AI will add the permissioned commands to the .cloud folder in this file, and next time it won't ask me for running these 2 commands. In the long run, we'll have all the safe commands in auto and it will run them without asking for permissions. As you can see, after reviewing all the files, it has found a major API integration issue. Now it's fixing the second issue, which was a CSS style issue for the design of the extension. The third problem was a panel integration issue, which now it's fixing. Now it's updating the to-do file to completely mark all the done tasks. Okay, the review is done and it seems that all the codes are now correct. I'm going to run a compact command again, and I'm going to open the test instruction that it provided me. I'm going to follow these instructions, which are going to my Google Chrome. I'm going to follow the instructions in the test file, and it will guide us to install the Chrome extension and test it. So I'm heading back to Google Chrome, clicking on extensions, manage extensions. Here you should have turned on the developer mode. Then click on load unpacked and locate the folder for the tool. Here I've located the folder, and here we have a Chrome extension installed. Next time, if I refresh the page of a profile, now as you can see, we have our button and our extension ready. And I'm going to pin it here. There's no pop-up, it's going to add just the button. So when you click here, nothing is going to happen. So this is the first test and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to click on the research profile and we've got an error, very normal. I'm going to open the sidebar here by clicking on inspect, going to console, and as you can see there's errors. I'm going to provide these errors to Cloud Code so it understands what errors happen and it can fix them. Okay, here I'm going to select these and copy paste to Cloud Code. Now it can start the debugging phase. This is very normal. Almost always in building tools you're going to get errors. The only solution is to fix them. So after getting an error, tell AI which errors did we get and it will solve our problems. As you can see, I've copy pasted the errors, told the AI that we've installed the Chrome extension, clicked on the research profile button, and this happened. After reading the files and understanding why the errors happen, it will start to debug and fix the codes. As you can see, it's changing codes and updating them. So next time, hopefully we'll get less errors or no errors. Okay, the tasks for debugging are almost finished and now we can test the extension again. So we're going to get back to the extensions, click on remove, click again on load unpacked. We have our folder selected and now install the updated extension again. I'm going to refresh the page so the new extension will load, and as you can see we already are getting some more errors, but some elements were successfully loaded. Now I'm going to give the new errors to Cloud Code and tell it to continue the debug. Okay, it's going to debug. I'm going to take a short break and come back and continue recording the video and building the tool. It's very normal to get errors and we're going to solve errors so the Chrome extension will work perfectly. Okay, my break is over and I'm going to continue debugging and building the Chrome extension. As you can see, the debugging is finished. I'm heading back to Chrome, removing the extension, load unpacked and loading it again. I'm going to hit refresh on the profile page. As you can see, still there's two errors that we're going to continue debug. I'm going to copy paste all the errors. Now it's going to continue with debugging and fixing more errors. As you can see, the amount of errors has been reduced, but there's still some fixes needed to completely make the Chrome extension work correctly. Okay, we're going to test it again. Remove the extension, load it again, hit refresh. As you can see, it added some debugging to see what are the errors exactly. I'm going to copy paste them and this time it will understand what were happening exactly because the code that added before was for finding the issues. Okay, I maybe copy pasted wrong things. I'm hitting escape to clear the content and copy paste it again. It seems that it can't find the reason and it's been struggling. So we're going to guide it to do a thorough verification of the codes and review them so maybe it can find the source of the problems and fix them. Now it's going to read all the files and maybe this time it can fix and debug it. Okay, it seems it has found the problem which was in the content script and it's going to fix it. This is very important. AI isn't like humans, as it can see it has been blinded or it's been stuck in a loop. So when I tried 3 times that it couldn't solve the errors in the console log and the extension didn't work, I changed my prompts to do a full review, and then as it appears it maybe solve the problem. So when AI is stuck in a loop, we have to break the loop. Continuing on that road will build more bad code, more wrongdoings, and will not fix our problem. So this is a very important lesson, as we've seen in this video that happened, and we have to guide the AI to do the correct thing. It doesn't really matter to know the codes. We just need to help it to do a correct workflow and have a good process to debugging. Okay, it has completely rewritten the content script and it has changed the reference to it in the manifest file. Okay, we're going to try the extension again. Maybe this time it will work. Okay, as you can see, the button is appearing right now, but there's some errors in the console. I'm going to give them to Cloud so it will solve and fix them. Okay, I've pasted the codes and it seems that these errors aren't ours, and it's for own LinkedIn's errors and JavaScript problems. So it's going to test the content script and background JS files in our extension, and it seems that they have no problem and these errors aren't related to us, and it's for the LinkedIn platform. So I'm going to click on research profile. Okay, now it's going to open a window that will need our API key. I'm going to copy paste my API key and run the research task. Don't forget, never share your API key. Okay, I pasted my key and now it's time to see what happens. We've got an error. No problem. As you see, we've come one step further. The click is done. It opens the window, but still it won't run the task at hand. It's going to debug this step, and hopefully in the next run we'll get a better response or less errors or a step further in the task. Also, there's a UI problem. As you can see, the research results window is appearing under the status bar and it doesn't match. So I'm going to guide it to fix the UI problems too. Okay, it has added some console logs to determine why the error happened in the previous run, and I told Cloud Code to fix some UI problems, and then we're going to test the extension again. Also, I'm going to delete the old content script as we don't need it now. Okay, the job is finished. I'm going to remove the extension. I'm going to hit refresh before adding it to check if indeed the problems were, yes, the errors are for LinkedIn themselves and nothing to do with our plugin. So I'm going to load the extension again, hit refresh. Okay, the location it's been improved, but we've got an error. The problem is when it tries to capture the screenshot. Okay, I pasted the errors, and as it seems that there is a active that permission that is required, but it's not available in the manifest.json. As you can see, we're going to hit the context limit soon. Only 18% left. As it's going to answer and do more tasks, it will be less. So after this run, I'm going to run the compact command that will summarize the last chats and free up the context limit. Okay, it wanted to change the method, but I said there's no fallback method needed and stick to the original plan. Okay, debugging is finished. I'm going to run the compact command, and in the meantime I'm going to remove the extension, add it again, and see what happens this time. The problem wasn't fixed and still we have some problems to fix. Also, as you can see, it has made a huge gap between the windows that it's going to need to fix also. I provided more instructions to do a good full review and then come up with the fixes, as it seems that it's been stuck on this problem almost 3 or 4 times and it needs to come up with a different plan to fix the problem. Okay, again we're going to remove, load the extension, hit refresh, run research. As you can see, this is a problem that will happen a lot with AI. Doesn't do exactly what you would like, and maybe we have to go through some repetitions to get what we want. I think finally it has figured it out, because now it has added the current functionality of getting the screenshot to the correct file, as the new manifest 3 version from Google Chrome won't allow a background script to take screenshots because of the permissions and privacy or data issues. So I think this time the problem will be solved. Okay, remove it again, load it, hit refresh. It's got an error and the button isn't showing up again. So I'm getting back here in the extensions here, clicking on error, copy pasting it. As you can see in the red dot here, the file has some syntax issues that it's debugging now. Let's head back again, remove, load unpacked. The button loads, click research profile, and it's asking me to capture screenshots in my browser. Okay, I clicked on the extension, save and continue. Okay, sorry, API key was wrong. Copy pasted the correct API key, save and continue. And it seems that it started this time and we didn't get an error still. Okay, we've come one step further because the screenshot was done correctly. We did get an answer. As you can see, all the profile information was extracted correctly. So step 1 is done, step 2 is done also. But we got error on the step 3 which was doing the research. As you can see, the name of Mr. Ahmed Al-Hassani, his job title, and also experience and other profile information was extracted correctly. But we got an API error from Gemini API, so I'm going to copy paste this and fix this bug, and hopefully next time we will also fix this error and the job will run smoothly. As previous problems we had when trying to run the screenshot, it will need us to click on the extension icon. So no need for the research profile icon, and I'm asking it to remove it. Okay, it's going to hopefully debug the rest of the problems. Okay, instead of fixing the problem, it removed it completely. Now the extension doesn't use the search tool from Gemini API, so it can't do research. What I'm going to do is check the documentation that for Gemini API we had and make sure the content is correct, then remind Cloud Code to use it to write the correct code for using the search tool. As you can see, it's been stuck trying to edit the file and it's getting lots of error. No problem, it's going to figure out the way and it will do the edit correctly. We're just going to wait until it's done correctly. I'm going to allow it to always run the grep command. I'm asking it to verify if it has done the edit successfully. As you can see, it tried to change the models, but I'm going to say it, don't change to old models and use the current ones with the correct codes. As you can see, it changed the models to Gemini 2.0. I'm going to ask it to use the correct and latest models. As you can see, it's using both flash models as primary and backup model, which is wrong. And I'm going to just find the place and change the first one from flash to pro. Okay, I'm going to run a clear command because it seems that it has been doing some more errors. So it will start from fresh memory and fresh conversation history, and hopefully next time we'll get less errors when it tries to run the tools. I'm going to load the extension again. This time there's no button because we're going to click on the extension icon. It's going to show us the pop-up to insert the API key. I'm going to copy paste it. Okay, copy paste here, save and continue. Run the job. It's now analyzing the profile data. As you can see, the data was extracted correctly. Now it's doing the English research. Okay, no errors. I think we've solved the problem. Now it's doing the Arabic research. We got an error, I think. The pro model failed. It's going to run it with the backup model, which was the Gemini 2.5 Flash. I think there's a problem with the Arabic content or handling the Arabic text, because as it seems it ran the English research correctly, but it couldn't do the Arabic research correctly. I'm going to provide this error with the full job to Gemini code to further debug the problems. As you can see, we at last have some working extension. It has done all the research that we needed. As you can see, it's showing the Mr. Ahmed Al Hassani's profile, career progression analysis, industry expertise and specialization, notable achievements, professional reputation, and also a great company research on Real company. Oh, it has done the Arabic research, but the errors probably were related to showing it or running the job. I'm going to provide all the data to the fresh Cloud Code memory we had, and we'll solve these two minor problems and we have our extension ready. I started 1 hour and 55 minutes ago, and the first time I got a working result was as soon as 1 hour and 55 minutes. Of course, when you're watching this video, a lot of the typings and all the breaks will be removed, so you'll see the fastened pace of the video. But as you can see, in real time I got a working extension in less than 2 hours with no coding at all. We just persisted, debugged and solved the errors, and we have now a working Chrome extension. So we're going to do the last fixes and we have a working extension ready. I'm going to copy paste the log and provide the context for Cloud Code. I provided a complete context for what happened when we got the errors and what was the errors. And now it's going to do the UI polishes I wanted and also fix the remaining problems. I'm going to review the flow and process and verify that it's all been done successfully. Okay, I asked it to do a full review. I provided the complete flow and it's going to check is everything alright or not. Okay, it started to do the problem we had before, which was using the wrong codes for the search function of the Gemini API, and I'm going to tell it to fix the removal. Okay, now as in the debugging stage, it forgot all about the file structure and it coded all the codes in the content script, so we don't need the Gemini service file we had, and it's going to delete it and delete the folder, which is alright. Now we have a working extension. Okay, I'm going to remove the extension, load it again, run a refresh. So I'm going to move to another profile as we've done the research on Mr. Ahmad Al-Hassani. So maybe Mr. Al-Bara Al-Rafah, and I'm going to pin the extension, click on it. It's going to ask us for the API key, copy paste the key and run it. Hopefully this is the last edit that we are going to do. The data was extracted. I'm going to check it if it was correct. Yes, the name is correct, the headline is correct, also the location, and yes, everything is alright. Experience, yes. Okay, now it's doing the English research. The English research is done. Now it's doing the Arabic research. Arabic research is done, and now it's the final stage of generating the final report. Okay, the report is ready. As you can see, we've got a nicer UI for it. Some problems in the formatting of the text, and here the language button doesn't work. So only some minor UI problems that we're going to fix, and everything else is okay. So I'm going to head back to Cloud Code and describe the problems in UI we had and ask it to clean and update the codes. Okay, my edits are typed out, and hopefully besides the working extension, we now get a beautiful and great UI for it too. Okay, the UI edits are done, and I'm going to test it again. Also, I'm going to ask it to add a cache or save option, so if you run a job again, it won't run the job fully and it will use the save version. Okay, I asked it to add a cache or saving option, so when every time we run a duplicate job, it won't run fully and it can use the local storage. Also, I renamed the content script file because we created a new one, deleted the old one, and the name should be more simpler. As you can see, we're again reaching the context limit, 16% now. And after finishing this run, I'm going to run the compact command to summarize the chat history and free up the storage. If it hits 0%, it will do auto compact. It doesn't mean that it doesn't stop it when it's in the middle of a task, and it will probably ruin the context and the memory and the task at hand. So I'll try to run the compact command myself, so between the jobs it will do it properly. Okay, the edits are done. I'm running the compact command and I'm going to remove the extension again, load it, and hopefully this time we'll get a correct run from the extension. Okay, this time I'm going to run the research on Mr. Muhammad Al-Tamami. It doesn't work and we got an error. No problem. It's probably minor error. The place and line that exact error happened as it shows in the extensions section. Okay, we're going to load it again. This time no errors. Okay, previous problem was solved. I'm going to add my API key. Okay, data was extracted. Mr. Muhammad Al-Tamami. As you can see, correct information is extracted. Now it's doing the English research. This is a LinkedIn error. It isn't for our extension. Now it's doing the Arabic research. Now it's the final consolidated report that uses both English and Arabic research to generate the final report. Okay, we got an error. Okay, I'm copy pasting the errors, heading back to Cloud Code. Okay, hopefully this time we'll fix the error. I'm going to hit refresh. It's going to ask for the API key, copy paste the API key and run the job again. Okay, the data is extracted. The first step is done successfully. Now it's doing the Arabic research. Now it's the final merged report. Hope this time it's the last time we get errors and everything is alright. Okay, we got an answer, but it has error again. The problem is with the formatting of the response. Okay, remove, load it again, refresh. I hope this time we don't get errors, but if we do, doesn't matter, we'll fix it and move on. Okay, it's doing the last step, which is creating the final report. Another error and we still need to debug. Okay, heading back again, loading the plugin, hitting refresh, and I'm going to run it again. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Cloud Code to do some small changes and refactoring so we get a better and optimized code. Okay, finally we got the results and I'm going to check if the Arabic, yes, everything is okay now. Finally, after 2 hours and 30 minutes, we got a full working extension Now I'm going to test the copy button and PDF button. If they work, we've got a complete extension with the idea we had to do research on LinkedIn profiles and get information on them. I'm going to hit copy, go to Notepad. It works okay. Yes, the English was copied. Let's do it for Arabic and see. Yes, it's worked also. I'm going to hit PDF button. It generated a text button, a text file instead of a PDF file. So still one more fix needed, and just going to fix the PDF button, update the colors and UI design to Wadi branding, and change the name of the extension to finalize it and push the changes to Git so everyone can use this free tool for free. And you can download it, add some features to it, or maybe remove Arabic or English or add any other language you want. You can do whatever you want, and as you can see, we didn't write a single line of code, but we persevered and followed up with Cloud Code to do the coding correctly. Okay, I asked the Cloud Code to do some UI changes to bring the extension to Wadi branding, fix the PDF export, and finalize the extension. So it's going to hit the context limit soon. I'm going to copy paste the next prompt I had, and I'm going to save it somewhere, then run the compact command and finish the remaining task of breaking the big content.js file into smaller files, and then do all the final polishes and getting this extension final and ready. Okay, in the creating and debugging step we had, it created two redundant files. It created two files for PDF generation and two files for storage. So I reminded this mistake to Cloud Code, and now it's removing the extra files, and it's going to check if they are indeed the correct files and integrated to other parts of the software correctly. Then we're going to break the content.js into smaller files, because maintaining large files like content.js that has grown to 1900 lines is very hard, and it will create lots of problem if anyone else wants to build on this extension. So we're going to just break it to smaller files and make the extension maintainable. Another thing that I'm going to do is, like the first video we had, we asked the Gemini CLI to create a gemini.md file. I'm going to ask Cloud Code, you can ask Gemini CLI if you're using, to create that file for the new tool. This way it will have the correct contents when it's doing the jobs, and these mistakes will happen less. Okay, the previous task is done. Now I'm going to ask it to break the big file into smaller files. I'm going to keep a backup of the content file. Maybe some mistakes will happen, and this way we can keep the backup to fix the mistakes. Okay, Cloud Code has done the changes and kept the backup itself, so it deleted my created backup. Now I'm going to ask for a full review of the broken codes into the main file and check if all the files were coded correctly. I'm going to delete the test instruction file as we don't need it anymore. Okay, it found the problem and fixed it. Okay, one file was missing and it was the results panel. It's going to update the code for that too. So the whole refactoring job will be finished. Then we'll update the integration to the main manifest and background files, and I think we have a ready extension that I'll test hopefully for the last time. Okay, we reached the context limit, and as you can see it's doing the compacting of the conversation. Okay, I'm going to ask it to update the readme file and also the to-do file we had. So we have clean and up-to-date documentations. In the meanwhile, I'm going to load and test the extension again. Okay, got some errors. I'm going to copy paste the errors. I told it to check and review the backup we had with the new files to find out why there are errors happening, and it can fix them easily. Therefore, no problem and no worries. Okay, remove, load it again. Okay, some other problems, I'm going to copy paste them. Okay, I'm testing the extension again to see if the errors are fixed or not. Okay, it's going to run. These errors are not for us. It extracted data correctly. Now it's doing the English research. I'm going to just head back to Cloud Code to do some small polishes. It's still doing the English research, and next it's going to run Arabic research. I hope there's no problems and errors between. Okay, Arabic research is began. The English research was done. Okay, we have the report ready. As you can see, I can copy it, see if it has been done correctly. Yes, I'm going to copy Arabic. Yes, it's okay. Now it's time to test the PDF button, and we got an error. So we still need to try to fix the PDF button, and also this window should move up as the progress bar has been the progress bar after finishing hides. I mistakenly closed Cloud Code. I have to open it again, and okay, I input the last 4 issues we had and hope it will fix them and our extension will become final and ready. I'm going to take a small break and I'll come back and continue the last touches that we're doing. Okay, I'm back after my short break, and now it has done the fixes we needed. I'm going to head back, remove and load the extension again. It's going to ask for the API key. I'm going to provide it, copy paste the API key, and let's see what happens. It's going to analyze profile data. It extracted the profile data correctly. Now it's time to do the English research. It's done. Now it's doing the Arabic research. In the meantime, I'm going to cover 2 mistakes I had made in my workflow that made the job longer, which was I didn't say to Cloud Code that to use the Wadi branding, and therefore it created all the UIs, and I changed it afterward, which made some extra work. The second mistake I did, in the process of debugging, I didn't include the necessary related files, and so it couldn't follow the progress and steps correctly, and as you saw, we had a huge file that we had to break into smaller files, and it was some redundant work. So I'm going to try to remember that we make these mistakes, and next time hopefully we'll have a shorter workflow. Now it's almost finishing the Arabic research, and it will move on to the next step, which is the last step of creating the final report, which consolidates the two English and Arabic reports. And hopefully the PDF button problem also will be fixed and we can finish this video. Yes, it's done. I'm going to check the results. Create the PDF, still got the error. I'm going to give it to Cloud Code. Okay, probably the PDF export now will be fixed. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Cloud to write the Cloud file. It was another mistake that we made. We should include it from the beginning so it understands the structure of the project better. And PDF export works, but the styles need refinement. I checked the README file, it has some problems, so I asked Cloud to update and correct it. I'm heading back to test the extension, load it, and the first step was done. I'm heading back to Cloud Code to check the README updates, make sure they are correct. It included a date, but it's wrong. Heading back to extension and checking the PDF. Okay, the problem is solved. Now we have a beautiful PDF export tool. The extension has no serious problems. Okay, these errors are not important. These all are related to the comments in the beginning of the files because it had added comments, and this was before we added the API key, so the extension is finished. Congratulations to myself and to you. After lots of going back and doing the fixes on the errors, as you can see, we have now indeed a working extension that does the research in 2 languages and finally creates a report to know the person you're trying to connect to. If you want to use this tool, head to Wadi GitHub, which I'll provide always the link for it in the descriptions of the videos. Follow the link and come to the start document. This way you can use all the tools or start building tools for yourself. If you want just to install the extension and use it, just install the Git. By doing the 3rd step, you don't need to do other steps if you just want to use the tools. Then run this command. By running this command, you'll get all the files in the folder, and every time we build a new tool, you can go to the folder. For example, here I'm going to head to the Wadi free folder that we created earlier. I'm going to go to tools section, and this is the first tool we built. By loading this extension, you can use it for free. It offers Gemini free API, and it uses that to generate reports on LinkedIn profiles. You can change the prompts or change the languages you want, and you can use it for free. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I try to include all of the failures, all of the mistakes too, so these videos will be real and authentic. And as you can see, we do indeed make a lot of mistakes in our workflow, and next time we'll try to be more efficient in the workflow. As you can see, we have a complete 2-language report on Mr. Altamami. I hope that this series will help you to get your creativity and the flow of ideas, and think of AI as a solution maker that can build any tool for you. Have a nice day.